Is it custard?
Is it cake?
Is it sausage?
Is it porridge?
No, baby, it's pudding.
This is a hot dog is a sandwich.
Ketchup is a smoothie.
Yeah, I put ice in my cereal, so what?
That makes no sense.
Hot dog is a sandwich.
A hot dog is a sandwich.
Welcome to our podcast, A Hot Dog is a Sandwich, the show where we break down the world's biggest food debates. I'm your host, Josh Scher.
And I'm your host, Nicole Inaidi.
And today we have a very special guest on the pod. He's a chef, a founder, and the ringleader of a merry band of culinarily chaotic comrades over on the YouTube channel SortedFood. Please welcome the incredibly talented Ben Ebbrell.
Awesome.
Yay.
What an intro. Quite the tongue twister.
You.
Nicole wrote it. That was her.
I did that on purpose.
We have been meaning to do this podcast
For years.
for literal years.
Yes.
It's been on the same Google Doc that we've had going since like
The
May of
inception.
2020.
Pending
Okay.
thoughts.
Pending thoughts and also pending a real life British person to come on the show. And now that we
No pressure then.
now that we've captured one.
He is real. I touched his shoulder. He's
Like
real.
I know leprechauns are Irish, but you're sort of like the sprightly, like a hobbit. I think is the British version
Yep.
of a leprechaun.
The hairy toes give it away.
You can't call our guest a hobbit.
So sorry, it's
So
part of this
rude.
culture. I'm so sorry. But we are discussing what is pudding because, from the American perspective, when we see black pudding and Yorkshire pudding and figgy pudding,
And hasty pudding.
And
which
hasty
is my
pudding.
favorite pudding, by the way.
I know you had a favorite pudding. That leads me to believe that the term is a little bit too nebulous and might need some explaining from somebody who has a deep culinary and cultural understanding of it.
Yeah, it's loose. It's loose.
Loose.
And I just feel like it's a vibe. It's
Pudding is a
It's
vibe.
a feeling.
Okay.
It's a mood.
Sure.
It's a comfort blanket. Pudding is all of the above and probably is still waiting to evolve into more things.
Well, the podcast is over. See you later.
I feel good about that. Do you, the American version of pudding? Do you
Confuses me.
It confuses you. What do you think American pudding is?
It's like a custard or a something set with starch and egg, right?
Correct,
And always
correct.
cold.
Always
cold. Well,
always cold.
Have you ever had warm pudding before?
My
like
dad
purposefully?
used to. So our pudding either it comes in two forms. You're dead correct. It's similar to a custard, but depending on what I feel like the French would not call it a custard because
Okay.
it's generally not set with eggs. You can make pudding.
You can,
with
but
eggs.
the American way is with cornstarch.
Is with cornstarch. It's just milk, cornstarch, and sugar.
And yummy.
And it's generally either served in a little cup that you rip off of foil, pack it on the top, and eat it during school lunch.
You forgot to lick the top.
Always
Always.
lick.
Yeah, but then once that top is going to kind of paper cut your tongue and you're never going to do it again. It happens to us all. And then the other form is it comes in a little box of powder and you put that on a stovetop with milk.
You're
and you stir it
talking,
together.
but you're talking about the like capitalist commodification of pudding,
Which is like
the way that you know
the
it.
only American food culture is that of commodification,
Yeah.
right? And so I think
Convenience.
convenience, yeah.
Convenience.
And so that's where we've ended up with pudding.
And don't get me wrong, like custard, I think is a human right. I feel like it's one of those things. Like it's whether it's hot or cold, whether we're talking trifle layers of custard,
Yeah.
sponge, and jelly, or hot and steaming over a pudding. It's just something that everybody should be entitled to enjoy.
I agree. And I also the condimentification of custard is something I didn't know was a thing until I was in South Africa.
Okay.
And any dessert that we had, like Cook Sisters, or these like delightful, like fried pastries, but they just brought out what to me, there's the Mexican brand of fruit nectar called Jumex.
Yes.
And they're in
I
like
call it Humex.
It's probably
You
Humex.
call it Jumex?
I like the Jewish
I
Mex
call it
confusion. It's probably Humex. I don't know. But it's in these like quart-sized, heavy cardboard containers with
Dry. The powder waiting to be turned into pudding.
Well, no, I
It's the
thought it
fruit
might have been,
concentrate,
but
right?
it was just a giant carton of custard that you go and you
Yeah.
squeeze. Do you have that in Britain land?
Yeah, we have tinned and canned custard. We have cartons of custard. We have pots of custard. We have dried custard. We have frozen custard. Honestly, custard is important. It's not pudding,
Well,
but it is a component part of pudding, perhaps.
So my question is, where does creme anglaise go into the conversation? Is creme anglaise a thinned version of custard?
It's a bougie, chefy version.
Okay,
French
okay.
for sure.
French, mhm.
It lacks the the food colouring you get in bird's custard that makes it yellow. That is like school canteen and family dinner vibes. Instead, it's looser and softer
Got
and
it.
more vanilla and delicious.
Right.
But that's
I just put that together. Is that like the French saw an English custard and then said, English cream, creme anglaise. Like is that where
Yeah.
it just
Oh,
sort of comes from?
hello? Yeah.
Yeah, creme anglaise is English cream or English custard, but just refined. I
Interesting.
don't know which came first.
So like from the American pudding point of view,
Right.
we would see your custard and we would say that is our pudding.
Sure.
But then
Correct.
we get a mass of coagulated pork's blood inside of an intestine, cooked until it is nice, hard, sliceable, and fried and served with eggs.
For breakfast.
For breakfast.
Delicious. Yeah, or a little starter with some scallops. It's just
Yum.
excellent.
Yum. I
and
love
then,
black
and then you go, well, that's pudding.
Yeah, because it comes from boudin, right? Which is a French word. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, literally pudding, I think, is more the shape of the thing, which is why over the years,
Oh,
a pudding
okay.
cooked in some kind of
Sack?
sack, intestine, or bladder of a pig or something.
Right.
Like that shape was a pudding, and therefore various puddings, sweet and savoury, that were cooked in pudding bowls were also pudding shaped. So pudding became, I think, a shape.
So the etymology is from the shape of with which you are cooking a filling of something.
I think so.
I've heard that the etymology had to do with not the shape, but the slurry that is put into a shape.
That is put into the
way,
shape.
God dang it. That's the way it was explained to me. And I think we talked about this. We may have talked about this together with Max Miller from Tasting History. And he, of course, knew. He was like, well, you don't know about the Great Pudding Flood of 1838. We're
Of
like,
course
no,
I don't,
Max.
Max.
But I've heard it has to do with the idea of like a slurry. Because if you look at like, I don't know, like when you steam a pudding like a Christmas pudding, I mean, it is kind of loose and runny, right? In the same way that if you're making boudin or black pudding, you're
Starts off wet and then coagulates.
And then, yeah.
so pudding is kind of anything that just kind of starts off wet and then is maybe given a shape by something like a pig's bladder. Isn't
Are you
food
looking at me for
beautiful?
confirmation?
I don't know. Looking at you to save me.
But I mean, it's literally so iconic in
Yeah.
the UK. I mean, Pudding Lane was where the Great Fire of London began.
Okay.
And that was literally, it goes back so far, but it is still evolving.
Is there a difference between a Christmas pudding and a Christmas cake? Is there a difference?
Yes. So a Christmas pudding is pudding shaped. And
Okay.
a cake is cake shaped.
So it's the shape. Okay. I get it.
But they are also different ingredients. One would be sort of steamed, whereas a Christmas cake is generally baked.
A pudding is A pudding is almost always steamed.
I think
a
so.
Christmas pudding.
Steamed or boiled, so it would be in its container,
Shape.
and then like a white pudding or a black pudding is boiled or steamed. And
Okay.
Steamed in a pudding bowl in a steamer.
Now,
Okay.
a white pudding, so black pudding is pork's blood. White pudding, is that just pork fat?
Yep. With
Yum.
oats and spice, and it's delicious.
It is really
Yum.
delicious. We
Yeah.
had, do you remember having that
Many
once?
times. Many times.
What a delight. There's something called a steak and kidney pudding, which I've
What's
never
that?
had.
I've never heard of that before.
Steak and kidney pudding?
So again, I think it's pudding shaped. It's cooked in a pudding bowl, but it's made with suet pastry.
Okay.
So
I know all about
this
suet. Yeah.
is obviously a beef fat in flour bound together. It's quite soft, but you can mold it around the outside of the pudding, and then you fill it with things that need long, slow cook. Usually, possibly already stewed. So beef
Okay.
and kidney, or steak and kidney. Sometimes oyster, so beef and oyster pie. And these go in, lid on top, and the whole thing gets steamed and sometimes baked as well. That's a savoury suet pudding.
Interesting. But steak and kidney pie also exists.
Also exists.
But that's in a pie tin, and,
And
the
it's
crust
baked.
is different.
And
And the crust is different.
It could be a different
I'm
pastry.
learning so much.
But actually, I think the difference being pies are baked, whereas
Got
puddings
it.
are generally steamed or boiled.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a dry cook as opposed to a violently wet
Wet
cook
cook.
for the pudding. Which is interesting because like if you look at pudding as the sort of pudding and pie are like the nouns, like the large scale descriptors. There's like dumplings that are like steamed versus fried, right? And that doesn't change
Sure.
the fact that
Like
they're
a bao?
dumplings. Even like gyoza, right? Or
sure.
what is it, jiaozi?
Okay.
Like just your like average dim sum dumpling.
Right.
Like, you can get them either fried or steamed, but they're still dumplings. It's like a steak and kidney pie versus steak and kidney pudding. They're pretty close to each other.
In terms of fillings, and it is literally just what's outside, but I would hate to draw the line at saying all puddings are boiled or steamed, because
Right.
then you have Yorkshire pudding,
Which
which is a wet slurry of sorts that's baked and
it's also
rised.
kind of shaped.
And
Exactly.
it's just three ingredients, and it's so delicious, and no roast beef dinner should be without one.
I do agree with that.
I agree.
I had something that felt very American, and in fact, when I ate it in London, I think the entire line was Americans. It was
What?
called a Yorkshire burrito.
Yeah.
I have seen this before on the
Not a
internet, and it
single-
intrigues me thoroughly.
Not a single Queen's accent in that line, but a lot of Americans holding iPhones.
What was in it?
Including me.
Tell the people what was in it.
You can get several different kinds. All I made sure to ask for was an extra, do they call it a parcel of gravy? What do they generally call
Jug.
a jug?
Yeah, good jugs of gravy.
Some gravy on the side. But it was some sort of like stewed and shredded beef. There was a large Yorkshire pudding that they sort of flatten out to be roughly the shape of
Which
a
is a real
tortilla.
shame because the beauty of a Yorkshire pudding is
Yeah.
the way it rises and the crisp edges, but you can't do that if you need to actually roll,
Roll it,
So
yes.
you lose some of the nuance of a Yorkshire pudding
How-
by rolling it.
If you're eating a Yorkshire burrito, you're not there for
Yeah,
nuance.
that's-
How
That's
big?
valid.
When I
How
think
big?
of big,
But not as big as like a Chipotle burrito.
when I think of Yorkshire puddings, I always think of them in these really beautiful like tins. Yeah, like the
yeah.
shape of
Comes
our
in, like
mug.
muffin cases or muffin
Right.
tins.
And the thought of someone making an XL one and then flattening it and then putting a bunch of shit in it. I don't know what else to say.
There was a period of time, it was the rise of the gastropub in the UK,
Mm-hmm.
the smoking ban kicks in, so suddenly pubs have to offer a bit more. And food improved, broadly speaking. And there were a lot of pubs and pub chains that were serving entire roast dinners or bangers and mash
Yeah.
Right.
inside of a large Yorkshire pudding. So the Yorkshire pudding filled the entire plate. I think that's the one they now roll.
Yum.
There you go. There's the Yorkshire burrito.
And it began in Yorkshire, in York, but now you'll see them in street food vendors all over.
And I was in
place.
Camden Market,
Yep.
which I was not
Oh, I've
prepared for the
always
crowd
wanted to
density
go.
of Camden Market.
Market's dope. I've heard
I bought a
great
lot
things
of
about
bustling.
it.
A lot of bootleg System of a Down T-shirts from
Nice.
a little
Excellent.
place there,
Nice.
covered in Yorkshire burrito stains. But the Yorkshire pudding, if it's that large, it's more of almost like a Dutch baby.
Yeah.
in
I
essence,
agree
right?
with you. I agree. Yeah, that makes sense. But I don't know, man. It's just so nebulous.
Yeah,
it's like salad.
Because it's also a
But
time of day.
It's also
What?
It's a course, right? It's like
Yeah.
you're certain, and I think it ascends class, right? The Queen used to love pudding,
Oh,
but
interesting.
also the miners will stop and have pudding in their family meal.
Right.
The working class, and it basically transcends the whole generation. Pudding is
Understood.
have you still got room for pudding when you finished your main course? Have you still got room for pudding? Would always be like a thing, and it's a time of the mealtime as well as the specific thing you're eating.
Yeah, when you said like custard is a human right, I think like pudding is a human right. There is almost like an actual like class pro labor element to that in a way, right?
Certainly canteens, whether they were school canteens or office canteens, government canteens, they would always have two courses. It would be the
Wow.
savoury and then pudding. And pudding would often be a steamed sponge or a roly-poly or something that was suet-based, lashings of custard.
Incredible.
As times move on, menus change, but that was kind of always the staple.
Well, even the modern dessert, right? It's like, God, we got to go back in history for this, but like post French Revolution, like dessert comes from like service russe, which was like in the kind of
Right.
Louis XIV royal court, where like
Yes.
desservir means to clear the table, and so it'd give you a sweet course. That kind of transformed into these like very ornate sort of like fruit displays where they would have a court cook who would make these insane sugar sculptures, and dessert was considered this like very high class erudite thing. But it like sort of started democratizing leading up to the French Revolution with more like refined flour and sugar available. And so then like these democratic desserts became like very important symbol of the revolution of like everybody should have access to these sweets now. This is what we fight for,
Yeah.
Right.
which is very much like a French thing. And I feel like holding space for pudding is,
But I think it's also the sentiment, like dessert is plated,
yeah.
pudding is a memory. It's like
What are you
it's a
talking
nostalgia. Do you
about,
get- It's like
Ben?
it takes you to a place that's like pudding was always a place of comfort, whether that
Okay.
was around the family table or at Christmas with Christmas pudding. You have
Right.
everyone around. Pudding is a moment, whereas dessert is something that's plated and delicious and
In
refined.
school, would they serve you pudding as well?
Yeah.
What was that about? Tell me about your favorite school
Jam,
pudding.
roly-poly, steamed puddings. I mean, like a crumble. So hot
Okay.
fruit with crumble and custard would be a pudding, although not technically a pudding, but it would be pudding the course. I can see your confusion.
Yeah,
You can have
not
pudding.
clear.
question marks.
You can have pudding for pudding, or you can have not pudding for pudding.
You can have pudding for breakfast, but
Pudding
that's
for breakfast.
pork-based.
Pudding is to the UK what salad is to the US.
Hmm.
That's all this is. Because didn't you guys just have something called Snickers salad? Or like,
Yeah.
I am
If you go-
so sorry you didn't get. You came in with your spoon.
Did
and
you
it was
see my
already
big
gone.
spoon?
The whole crew had just descended on this
I
plate.
know
of-
it's fine. I'll just make it myself later. But basically, like salad is such a nebulous term because you have like strawberry pretzel salad salad from the South, you got Snickers salad, and then you have something like a garden salad or a salad bar at Sizzler. So it's the same exact thing. Pudding is salad.
That's actually, I think it's a pretty reasonable.
Catch-all.
Right?
It's a catch-all.
Catch-all.
Yeah.
I feel good about that.
What would you say links American salads? Also, do you use those like constructions, like the salad construction in the UK? Like, surely you have potato salad and pasta salad.
And like
and-
these are just heavy carbs bound with mayonnaise, or we'll have a like egg salad sandwich, which is just hard-boiled eggs mashed up
Sure,
with mayonnaise.
we have
That's
that
not
too.
a salad, but hey, it falls under the salad bracket.
I think
Yeah.
it might be you salad something, right? You're salading something. So you're taking it. Let me explain. So you take, like, for example, chicken salad and a Greek salad. You're chopping up things relatively fine. You're throwing it in a bowl with some sort of binder, and then you're mixing it up in a bowl and you're feeding it to someone. That's what constitutes
Yeah.
a salad.
And it has to come back to your phrase of sort of etymology in words, like salad comes from salt.
Yeah.
Celery, salami,
Correct.
salad. So
Yes, yes,
you're
yes.
right. It's that seasoning of chopped up things.
yes.
Yeah,
with the
literally. is. So
binder.
anything you chop up, sometimes the Snickers and the apples can be seasoned with Cool Whip. And that sort of still follows.
there
It's pretty
Main-
seasonal, isn't it?
Was there mayonnaise in that at all?
No, some people
mayonnaise?
do add.
Go ahead.
Some people do add mayonnaise to Cool Whip based salads, but for me, the mayonnaise salads and the Cool Whip salads are different.
They never-
Venn
Also,
diagram should not overlap.
also, do you know what Cool Whip is? Do you guys
No,
have that?
honestly, I kind of glossed over that because I presumed that everyone at home knew what it was earlier, and I was just like, yeah, sure.
I was just talking to someone about Cool Whip. It was invented in I think like the 1950s, very space age kind of stuff, where American food companies were trying to figure out how do we produce food as cheaply and readily available as possible.
Right.
So like, what if instead of whipping cream, we could use like hydrogenated vegetable oils?
It's up there when margarine was coming. You know,
It's literally like
They're
butter is to
cousins.
margarine as whipped cream is to Cool Whip, and legally they're not allowed to call it whipped cream, so they call it whipped topping. And it kind of I love Cool Whip, but it also definitely tastes like shaving cream.
I don't like Cool
it
Whip.
has that kind of consistency where just when you're
stays on
shaving and
there.
a little bit, yeah.
It says on the package, do not mix, because it completely deflates and it turns into this globby, hydrogenated oil mess. So I don't really deal with Cool Whip that much anymore. But I'm glad that we have at least a little bit of a consensus of what salad is and what pudding is. But what do you call something like rice pudding whenever you like get it somewhere? I know you probably don't eat a lot of rice pudding or tapioca
No, I
pudding.
eat a lot
anymore.
of rice pudding.
Do you
I
really?
love rice pudding. I like because all of these things, they're just it goes back to a feeling and a vibe and a mood and a comfort blanket. It's the same reason why the term pudding can be a term of endearment. You might call your loved one a pudding, as you might do sweet cheeks or dumpling, and they're a bit like backhanded, but it's a term of endearment that you could call someone my pudding.
I've never
or
been called someone's pudding, but I'm open and available to being called someone's
sweet
pudding.
cheeks. I'm trying to think of other ones like sweet cheeks.
Like the idea of pudding and kind of like institutionalizing pudding as a time
It's something for everyone.
is one of the things I wish American food culture had more of are these sort of institutions and like holding space for it. And y'all do tea pretty seriously. Do you think those two are kind of related? Like, do you hold space in your own life for tea?
I'm more of a coffee kind of guy, but I
But tea
is a
isn't the
time.
drink. Tea is a time,
Tea is
right?
a time and a drink, and depending where you're on the country, it's a meal. Like you stop for tea, which is actually dinner. It's a confused land that we live in. But tea is so important.
Yeah. Because my grandma was South African.
Right.
She's a Lithuanian Jew whose family like escaped the pogroms in the Russian Empire and ended up in South Africa. And she was educated in very like Victorian schools. And so it's weird because I grew up with, my grandma sort of like lionizing the monarchy and like making me tea, even though I was like, Granny, I don't like this. Because she had these very kind of like British tendencies, but that was always the thing, was like, we're sitting down for tea, which means we're sitting down for conversation. She's going to drink a cup of tea. I might be eating a Chips Ahoy cookie or something, but that was still tea.
To spill the tea is to gossip, and even those phrases. And yet it's relatively recent. Before tea, it was coffee houses in London that were doing the rounds for
funny.
big thinkers, and then hot chocolate when that first came across. And it was only quite later that afternoon tea became a thing, and it became an occasion as well as a drink.
Do you have pudding houses?
More recently, there are people rebranding it. So the Pudding Stop is an amazing dessert place where you just go for
Oh
dessert.
my
So you have to
gosh.
you go to a restaurant, you excuse yourself after the main course, get the check, and then you go to the Pudding Stop just for dessert. That's kind of cool.
America needs a pudding stop.
Are they
That's
taking
incredible.
franchise opportunities from Americans?
That sounds incredible.
Because there is something binding most British dessert puddings, most British sweet puddings that I do really love that I think we miss. We were talking about it earlier. Check out our episode on Mythical Kitchen, by the way. It's one of the most fun things we've ever done. But we had wet bread, and you initially made the
What do
claim
you
that I
mean?
do not like wet bread. We had like a Pueblo slopper.
I'm sorry?
You've never
What
had a
did you
Pueblo
call me?
slopper? That's our term of endearment in America.
What
Mon
is
petit
that?
Pueblo slopper. It's we were trying to fool him with fake regional American foods.
Oh, okay, yeah,
And he
yeah,
was
yeah,
trying to fool me
yeah,
with fake
yeah,
British
yeah,
foods.
yeah,
And we had a Pueblo slopper, which is very real, but it's a whole burger doused in green chili. So everything's just soggy.
Sounds like a good
But
time.
even
And for me, I like a French dip sandwich. While I get it and it tastes amazing, it's just the texture of soggy bread.
You don't like it.
Soggy bread, soggy scones. I
not for
don't
you.
mind like. I mean, you guys would call them biscuits, but I like scones
that's
baked on.
another thing.
We won't go there. But like like scones
going
or
there.
cobbler
Okay.
baked on top of a stew, and there's a little bit of stodgy in the bottom, but most of it is nice and crisp and fluffy and light. I just don't like the soggy scone bread biscuit vibe.
But then we brought up trifle,
Yep,
which
and
is
pudding.
which is the pudding, which is different.
So trifle is pudding.
It is.
Or does it contain pudding?
It's an option you can have for pudding.
And it contains
Because
custard.
pudding is what? A vibe.
Pudding's a vibe.
Yeah.
And trifle is, but my grandma used to make a trifle. She's terrible at cooking, but big trifle bowl. But it would just be some variation of like fruit, jam, custard, cake, all just sort of sitting and soaking together.
Yum. Yeah, I
And
love that.
a lot of British sweet puddings are what I would just call slops. You know?
They're
Or-
quite stodgy. They're quite dense. You know, jam roly poly. Like made from suet pudding. It's it's 50% beef.
Oh my god.
And I love that. Like these are literally my ideal
yeah.
desserts. What's my favorite dessert that we had recently together at a restaurant? It was given to us for free. We just talked about it recently.
I don't know. I don't remember
It's a
anything.
Vietnamese restaurant.
Oh, that yeah.
Yeah. Have you ever had like these Vietnamese kind of, it's a Vietnamese pudding. It's pronounced like jad, but it's kind of CHE with a diacritical. But they will just make any sort of like sweet kind of stodgy pudding out of like taro or mung bean or sweet corn. And it's just dense and it's sweet.
It's the appetizer with sugar.
Like pretty much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
And I feel like that same just like dense sweetness exists in a lot of British puddings that we don't have. And that frankly, like a French pastry program is a bit too light for my tastes.
But there is, I just feel like it's coming back as well. There is, and it's been around for a long time, but there are literally things called the Pudding Club, and it's a group of people who meet once a month, like the first Thursday of every month, and they just have multiple courses of pudding.
awesome.
And it's to keep it alive because some of these desserts are quite old fashioned.
Okay.
Like the spotted dick, classic.
Yes.
But it's a classic pudding. It's pudding shaped. It's steamed or boiled, steamed. But no one's making that anymore. So you kind of need these institutes, the Pudding Club, to keep them alive.
right, right.
Because otherwise you guys turn it into custard.
That's a fair
We're
point.
going to turn it into custard.
What do you think the top British puddings are? Like if you were to rank your favorites.
I mean, my favourites versus the ones that are probably most iconic. It's definitely a crumble would be a good pudding.
Yeah.
But then the actual puddings themselves, a spotted dick or a jam roly poly, they would be pretty classic. And then you've got rice pudding, hot or cold.
I'm having so much fun.
I don't think I've ever said the word pudding so many times.
I feel like I'm learning so much as someone who's only been to the UK once. I'm really, really learning a lot about the dessert culture, but also like why is beef suet utilized so much? Like I know it might not be utilized now as much, but why was it so common? Why not just use butter or something else?
Hugely calorific, delicious, and readily available as a byproduct. It was back when
Right.
nose to tail cooking was a necessity as opposed
Right.
to a trend. And I feel like it would be nice to go back to some of that, but it's using
Right.
every part of the animal. So why not use the fat from around
Right.
the internal organs of a cow?
And it wouldn't make it taste any like particular way, right? Like
no,
it wouldn't
it's fairly
have
tasteless.
Right.
Unlike a tallow, where if you melt that down, that's absolutely
And
delicious
render it,
and
yeah.
cook everything in tallow. But so it doesn't make your pudding taste beefy.
Got it. See, that was always one of my like anxieties whenever we would make like pudding for the show or something like
Yeah.
that. I'm like, I don't want to use the beef suet. I'm going to use the I think it's called a tora or a tora.
Which
I'm
is
going
a
to use
vegetable-
I'm going to
again,
use
that's
the
margarine, basically.
Yeah, I'm going to use the vegetable suet, which is just these little like
Pellets.
little pellets that just melt into
But
the
also
dessert.
insane that they call it vegetable suet. You know what I mean? Because suet is such a wildly specific,
Right.
visceral fat product. And like we've done it vegetarian style,
right.
you know?
Right.
But then gelatin, like all these set, like whether it's blancmange or
Sure.
trifles
Or
or
jellos.
just jellos, like that's just pork gelatin. So like we like throwing meat and dairy at our desserts.
Yeah.
Right.
So the way you pronounced blancmange
Blancmange.
made me think of something recently. This has nothing to do with pudding, but it has to do with.
Blancmange.
Well, no, because I was thinking about this. How do you say the Mexican dish that's like a tortilla with meat and you fold it?
Enchilada.
Well, no, it's
No.
the simpler one.
Oh,
Oh,
a taco.
Taco, right?
Taco.
That's really
Taco.
good. Everyone ends up Texan
taco.
somehow. But no, I was thinking about this recently because I didn't realize that British people pronounce croissant as croissant generally.
Croissant, yeah.
A
Croissant. And how do
Weird-
you pronounce it?
How do you pronounce it?
Croissant.
Croissant. But
Oh,
like
so
we
you put
that
the T on the end of
bad?
it, yeah.
we very heavily like Americanize it, just like croissant. Give me a croissant. And for us to say like croissant, you'd seem so posh, so pretentious.
But we pick and choose because we'll say croissant for sure. But then
Yeah.
the moment you say I'm off to Le Paris this weekend, everyone thinks you're a bit of a wanker.
Sure,
so,
sure.
Like where is the line of which words do you anglicize and which do you not? But croissant
Yeah.
is we say it the French way.
But even just like the proximity to France from England versus like say our proximity to
Sure.
Mexico, because anytime a British influencer says taco, then everyone gets mad, and I'm like, no.
Do you get mad?
No, of course not,
Good.
because
You shouldn't
when
get
we
mad.
say taco, you probably hear an R in there.
Yeah.
Tarco?
We speak with a rhotic R. He don't.
Okay.
And so when we say pasta,
Yeah,
How do you
it
spell
would be
pasta?
Pasta.
Pasta.
P-A-R-S-T-A.
But pasta you would say with an R in there.
Oh my god. I feel like I'm getting a linguistics.
But then
lesson.
we have a north-south divide on any word that's
Sure.
bath and bath, like
I would love
grass
to.
and grass.
I would love to also ask you about cookies and biscuits. What's the deal with that, man?
Because they got cookies now, too. That's the thing that trips me out.
Well, yeah, like something like an Oreo. Like whenever you have something like an Oreo in like the stores, what are those called? Are they just called
I
Oreos?
think that's a cookie. And the reason it's a cookie is I think it's an American thing that's come
Okay,
back. Whereas I
okay,
think
I see.
biscuits are very British.
Uh-huh.
We have biscuit tins. We love the classic biscuit.
Right.
Good for dunkers. But then you guys had the cookie.
Okay.
And we're happy to take your cookies and love those too. But if we give you biscuits, you mess it up and put it on like casserole.
No, yeah.
Wait,
Though.
let me rephrase. So a biscuit, you guys call a biscuit, we call a cookie.
Yep.
And then what we call biscuits, you guys call scones.
Basically, yeah.
And what we call scones, what are those? Scones.
I think it's still, but there's like a sweet scone.
Yeah.
Because you guys can make like a plain scone, right? For us, a scone, it's always going to have some sort of like sugary glaze.
Inherently.
right?
Well, we'll make cheese scones as well and Herbie scones as well.
we
as
have
sweet
we
ones.
have those too. We have those too.
We'd understand
We
it.
have those too.
understand.
No,
We'd
we have-
understand it. We have it, but I don't recognize it. You
So
know
a
what I mean?
chocolate chip biscuit
Yep.
is it's not a chocolate chip
And yet
cookie.
we're still not doing it correctly because a biscuit literally means twice cooked. Most of our biscuits we
Like
only
a
cook once.
biscotti.
Like a biscotti.
Sure.
Most of our biscuits we only cook once.
What are you showing us, Josh?
Should have made this. I don't know if you've had this before. Biscuits and chocolate gravy.
Oh, I mean,
Oh.
I'm not against it. It looks like pudding.
It's a pudding. This is American pudding.
Biscuits and chocolate pudding. See, I even said it myself.
No, it's chocolate gravy.
Chocolate gravy.
Which is, we've made this from scratch, and as I was making it, I went, oh, it's really just pudding, huh?
What did we learn today, gentlemen?
Pudding has to be eaten with a spoon, and it feels like comfort.
And I think America should institutionalize more pudding breaks, you know, in every workplace, in every municipality, in every school. Pudding breaks. Nicole and I for president 2028.
I'm not running.
The pudding party.
I am not running for president.
All right, Nicole and Ben, we've heard what you and I have to say. Now it's time to find out what other wacky ideas are rattling out there in the universe. It's time for a little segment we call Opinions Are Like Casserole. Do you use the term casserole?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
Yeah,
What do
a
you,
little bit.
What does it mean to you?
A slow cooked stew.
Or like,
A
Dude!
casserole.
is
A
it?
casserole is lots of things in a pot that casserole. The verb to casserole.
To casserole, to pudding, to salad,
from the French casserole,
or
meaning,
just cassoulet.
I-
Très bien.
Merci, monsieur. Allons-y, Maggie.
Oh my God.
Hi, guys. I love your podcast. I
Thanks.
am
I don't know why.
calling because I have a question to see if what you guys think of cream of wheat, cocoa wheat, or just plain white rice with milk, sugar, and butter.
Wait, hold on. She said cream of wheat. And then what was the other thing?
Cocoa wheat?
What is cocoa wheat?
Are these
Are you-
cereals?
Are you familiar with cream of wheat?
No.
So all of them are. We have various different kinds of like
Farina.
farina. Okay.
Farina,
Oh, it's just
sí.
cocoa cream of wheat.
Malto meal.
Oh, okay.
So this is literally just coarse ground wheat that you mix with like water or milk. Generally,
So you end
some
up with
sort
a
of sugar.
porridge. I mean, porridge is any grain.
Or a
right?
hasty pudding.
Or a hasty pudding.
Is that what hasty pudding is?
Yeah, it's made in a haste, right?
Yeah, something quick.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
So I think the closest we probably have is something like polenta, which obviously is corn maize based, but I don't think we have a wheat
You don't.
based version.
Interesting. Yeah, so we have cream of wheat, but this is like a little old fashioned. Like I don't know a ton of people who would eat cream of wheat these days.
I was raised on cream of wheat. It was actually the specific Persian one called shir neshasте,
Oh, funny.
which is called wheat starch, and my mom would make it, and then she would sprinkle Nesquik on it.
Yes.
Or she would do honey. And let me tell you, if I were to eat that now, I would instantly I would have a ratatouille moment of going back to my childhood. It is absolutely delicious. Any sort of like creamy, soft, spoonable,
And that has to be warm,
it
right?
has to be warm. If not, it just solidifies into like a brick.
You've got a skin
absolutely.
on the top, and what you do with the skin is a challenge.
10
Do
out
you
of 10.
Scrape and leave, or do you chew through
I
it?
mash it in. I
Okay.
just if I get skin bits, I get skin bits. It's fine.
I would love to eat that now, actually, like right now, immediately.
But then she went on to say rice with like milk and butter and sugar. That's just like rice pudding. Like I'm on board with that.
Arroz con leche.
Arroz con leche, yeah. But also like grits. You can just take any grain that you roughly process and then mix with like a milk or water and something sweet. Is like a delight.
Yeah.
I'm in on all of it.
too.
Some loose grits, which are different from polenta because they're nixtamalized.
The
right?
color's different in my head. Whenever I think of grits, I think of white. When I think of polenta, I think of yellow. But that's not always the case.
So grits are, I believe, hominy grits, which are like the white southern grit, are treated with lye, which or lime, like an alkali solution to break it down. And I love grits. I like sugar and butter and grits. I'm a
So
sweet
that's
grit man.
So we do the same with oats. So our porridge would just be classic oats.
Right.
And
Yeah,
that's- And then polenta we think of as a very Italian thing, and grits for sure. Love that.
more gruel in 2025.
More gruel.
Yeah,
Bring
please.
back gruel.
Up top, gruel. Give me a high five. Hello.
I have shoulder,
One of you.
I have shoulder issues.
One of you.
High fiving for gruel? Sure.
Yes.
I think I tore my rotator
Make
cuff.
gruel sexy.
This is for your sandwiches. My name is Sam. I'm from
What?
Victoria, BC, Canada.
What do you say?
Bananas and mayonnaise.
Oh, shut
Toasted.
up. Oh, shut up.
Try
Toasted.
it.
No.
Try it. That sounded like a dare, a challenge.
Ben, what say you? Bananas and mayonnaise.
I'm trying to get my head around it and ask why. But actually, like mayonnaise on bread before you toast it, delicious. Fine,
Agreed.
Agreed.
Works. Banana sandwiches we used to have as a kid, which was a very odd thing. Banana and honey sandwiches, but it was never toasted.
Yeah.
Although occasionally you'd put those in the toast machines, maybe a little bit of chocolate spread or honey and banana. So yeah, it's the mayonnaise that bothers me. I don't know why.
This is a very southern thing. I dated a girl whose family is in high school, family from Louisville, Kentucky, not Louisville, Louisville. That's how it's officially pronounced. And her mom made me a banana, crunchy peanut butter, and mayonnaise sandwich for the first time, and I was like utterly blown away.
Yeah.
Like the slight acid and salt from the mayonnaise with like the creamy, crunchy of the peanut butter with the sweet, cakey banana. Toasted, I wouldn't do. I love untoasted bread. I think I don't like toast as much as people. I think I just want to experience the bread,
Oh.
But it is a delight. And like when you ask why, bananas were such a new thing in like the early 1900s that so many of the early recipes, people are like, we don't know what you're supposed to do with these. So what if we wrapped them in ham and baked them with hollandaise?
Yeah.
People are like, why not? Sure.
Was that as a Maryland thing, right?
Is it a Maryland thing? It might be.
Wrapped
Yeah.
in bacon and grilled off. But
Yeah.
we made a banana and mayonnaise cake once.
Oh.
Did you really?
How was it?
It worked fine. It's like a cheat because basically you're adding
Moisture.
eggs and oil into a
Yeah.
cake. It's kind of already done for you.
That
It's-
makes sense
It's
to
a
me.
hack more than anything else.
Adding mayonnaise to cake makes a lot of sense to me. I actually, this morning, I had a Nutella, banana, and peanut butter toast, and it was delicious. I could never imagine putting bananas and mayonnaise on that toast. So I'm going to politely decline.
Yeah.
Sorry, bestie. It's just not up. It's not my wheelhouse. It's just not where I'm at. It's not where I'm at in my life. Thank you for suggesting it. I'm just not there.
I think on my last meal, my last meal, I might have a whole wheat sandwich with peanut butter, banana, and honey. That might be on there. It's one of my favorite foods in
But
the world.
still no mayonnaise.
Still no mayonnaise.
No.
No, that's,
They say
that's
don't
for
knock-
Ixnay on the anise
special.
may.
Don't knock it till you've tried it, but it's not one I'm going to be
I'm not clamoring to
hastily
try it.
jumping to.
Yeah, same.
Hi, Josh and Nicole. Nicole, mazel tov on the baby.
Hey.
Matt here.
Thanks.
Just want to share my latest food hack, and it is not the jalapenos, but the pickling juice of Trader Joe's hot and spicy jalapenos. It's been working wonders for me in the kitchen.
Oh.
Use it for a little bit of acid, use it for a little bit of heat,
I
a
love
little bit of the sweet and the heat kind of mellow things out. I've done it in everything from tacos to soups to barbacoa. It's absolutely delicious. Hope to hear your thoughts. Bye.
Good thoughts.
Yeah.
Great thoughts.
Pickle brine's a great ingredient. It's like using the beef suet. Use every part of the pickle.
If you went to what's our fan Williams Sonoma?
We have no correlation to Williams and Sonoma.
What do you mean?
You did one of these, like, we love Williams.
No, like
and
you
Sonoma.
seem like a Williams Sonoma person.
I
Do you know
do?
Williams
The
Sonoma?
demo, yeah, it's
I do?
It's a bit fancy.
Yeah,
Another
it's a-
compliment. Love it.
I'm
Yeah,
saying
I'll
if you went
take
to Williams Sonoma, yeah, I've just gotten so many gifts because people are like, he likes food. Let's get him an $18 weird little thing of
Sure.
salt that is
Yep.
too crunchy to put on any of my
Right,
food.
right.
But we love Williams Sonoma. Sponsor us.
Yeah,
but anyways,
please.
they'll sell like these nice glass bottles of like vinegar that have been infused with like a single chili and a single piece of garlic or something. They're like $15.
Yeah.
The jalapeno juice is just the same thing but better.
Yeah,
I
you
agree.
know, it's been well seasoned. It's good to go. I would say that is the biggest difference between home cooks and chefs is seasoning.
Yeah.
And when you say season something, home cooks will throw salt at it. But actually, we always talk about the seasoning triangle, and actually, it's a lot more things than just that.
Right.
But it's a combination of salt, sugar, and acid.
Right.
And actually, those three things all exist in a pickle brine. So brilliant.
Absolutely.
With a little tingle.
It's true. You ever hear the Hannibal Buress joke about how sometimes he wants pickle flavor on his sandwich, but he doesn't want the whole pickle, so he just dips his fingers in the juice and flicks it?
Is that the joke?
Never finger
It's
the
not very
pickle
funny
jar.
when you say it.
That's the one thing I hate.
What?
Fingering the pickle jar.
Oh.
Oh,
well,
I hate.
Your
Oh
pickle,
my
she went
Your
off.
pickles go soft because of your
Yes,
finger yeast.
yes, and then sometimes there's a weird white film,
Yeah.
and I don't like the white film around it.
Use a fork.
Use a fork. Your flora and fauna gets in the pickle brine, completely ruins the
I've
pH.
stopped. I've
That one I'll high five. Not the gruel, but I'll high five that one.
She like got on me about that, gave me the whole spiel like maybe a couple weeks ago. I didn't even tell you this. I was like, oh, okay, Nicole. And then I went home, my jar of Bubby's pickles, just a full
Yeah.
white layer of film.
I
on
told you. You think
my
it's a
Bubby's
joke?
pickles that I
Too many fingers.
finger every single night.
You
fingers
think
out of
I'm
there.
just doing it for a power play? I'm literally trying to improve your life.
I've officially stopped.
Hi guys. Hi Maggie. Maggie's my favorite.
Love you.
My opinion is that meat and fruit are not paired together nearly enough. Yeah, you
Oh,
can
okay.
put raisins
So to be
in a
like-
chicken salad, and yeah, you can do this and that. But I'm talking ground beef and frozen blueberries. I'm talking my personal favorite: grilled chicken breast and overripe banana.
Okay,
Time.
maybe
Max
down
every time,
here,
I'm telling
yeah.
Wait,
More
how?
meat and fruit, please and thank you.
Eating like a bear.
Put the meat back in mincemeat, you know? What's
That was a
That's
good one for.
good pudding.
Yeah.
It's so right though. Like, but I maybe not on a grilled skewer grilled. I always think of it as slow cooks, like a nice tagine or like Persian food.
Yeah.
Loves that meat sweet combo.
Pomegranate
Ta-
molasses.
Tamarind in things. That's so good.
I agree.
Please and thank you. Agreed.
I was 100% with it because I agree with you. I love that kind of like North African, Middle Eastern. You even see it a lot in like dishes from kind of the Middle Ages across Europe.
Yeah.
A
Well,
lot
that's
of
why
like
sugar was such a luxury. It was like when you've got it, put it in everything.
yeah, 100%. And like almond milk was in everything. What was I talking about? The grilled chicken with the overripe banana though. That took a little bit of a turn.
That's why I went down
Little
here.
bit
Like,
of a turn.
yeah, the blueberries and ground beef,
Hey!
yay!
That's an interesting one. I've not
the
tried that.
chicken and bananas, yay!
But no, I guess maybe like a fried plantain kind of situation. Like,
Yeah!
like maduros.
Up here,
Good again. Yeah, good again.
But yeah, the blueberries are a bit of a turn. There's some steak restaurant in Florence that like makes a blueberry sauce for their bistecca fiorentina.
Yum.
And so I don't know if that's a canonical
All
thing.
of our roast meats nicely accompanied. It's roast turkey we have, or chicken we have with cranberry sauce, roast pork with apple sauce. Like that's where the roasted fruit meat combo does work.
More fig jam
On
with your
everything.
meats.
I mean,
I
I'm
love
inspired.
More
Fig
figs,
jam.
full stop.
Sure. I agree.
Figgy pudding.
There's no figs in figgy pudding.
Correct.
Put
Why?
the figs back in
Why?
figgy pudding.
Put
We're
the
all
meat
being
back
duped.
in mincemeat.
We're all being duped.
Hey, this is Matt from Orlando, Florida, and my wife
Hell
just
yes.
told me yesterday that when you're eating a burrito, the proper way to do it is to cut it in half
Yeah.
and eat both halves down to the butt and throw away the excess tortilla.
What?
Oh, that's
Let me know what you
wasteful.
think.
Wasteful.
No mames, way. No mames.
That sounds like that stems from a pasty, a Cornish pasty.
Yes.
Or the empanadas where the crust was deliberately because you had mucky fingers, right? Maybe that's the same with a burrito. You eat and get rid of the mucky ends. But I kind of like the ends.
Wait, what's the deal with the Cornish pasty?
The
Like, you're
way that
supposed
it's
to-
folded and crimped, the crust traditionally was for the miners who would have incredibly dirty, sooty, coal-ridden hands. Basically, would eat the pasty, and it was almost like the bit you hold on to, and then you would never eat the crust. That would just go. But it was
Right.
the way you would hold on to a pasty.
Yeah, it's like the corn cob. It's like you eat around it and you throw it away.
Yeah.
No, I can assure you that burritos are not meant for that. And actually, one of the reasons you can know this is if you go to the progenitor of the burrito in the city of Juarez in Mexico, they're actually served open, so they don't
You were
they
telling me
don't
about
fully
this
close them. That seems to be like the first burrito, so there would be no sort of end to throw away because the fillings throughout.
I find the best way to eat a burrito is you move to it. Don't
Yeah.
bring the burrito to you. You go
Correct.
to the burrito.
Yes.
Especially if
yes,
you
I
can
agree.
sort of stack it on the table
Yeah.
and let it, and you can
Just
You guys
bob
have
for
never
hit the tonsils.
vivid. You guys have never ripped like the bready top of a burrito and spit it out like a cigar? Am I the only one who's done that?
If it's a bad, if it's like
a bad burrito, if
if
it's
it's like a fast food burrito where the first
Yeah.
bite is like cold cheese and
that's
lettuce.
what I'm saying.
sure.
Sometimes you gotta
ratios are wrong.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta do the patooey. Guess that's just me.
Fuck to us. Spit out that burrito. I do think the single best bite of a burrito is the buddy end.
The
all,
wet-
all the
wet
juices.
butt.
Well, we're going back
have-
to soggy bread if we're not careful.
I am not careful. I am going soggy. I am
soggy
sogging with abandon here.
I love wet bread.
It's almost like xiao long bao. It should be like a soup dumpling where you can just
right.
And on that note, Ben, thank you so much for joining us.
It's a bit of pleasure. Good fun.
Ben, where can the
Absolutely.
people find you?
Sorted Food. You can find it all over socials and YouTube.
That's right. If you want to be featured on Opinions or at Casseroles, give us a ring and leave a quick message at 833-DOGPOD1.
We got new audio-only episodes out every Wednesday, new videos out on Sunday over at the Mythical Kitchen channel. And if you like seeing our faces, check out our YouTube show also here or there, depending on where you are. Where are you right now? Orlando? Could be. We did a fun episode with Ben over on Mythical Kitchen. Check it out.
See you next time.
Mirror, mirror on the wall, what's the best pudding of them all? Head over to Spork's YouTube channel to watch Jordan and Link's pudding taste test.
They tasted all the Jell-O box pudding classics and a few you haven't tried to find the very best. Check it out and remember to subscribe while you're there.